Okay, I'm doing a video real quick on how to replace a chain. Now you can measure a chain with a number of tools. I'm not going to go into whether or not your chain needs replacement. I'm just going to say this is an 8-speed chain, okay, and it's got one of these links, these master links, and the master link really needs very little attention. It's not like a lot of chains where you have a master pin. Master pins are very hard to find. Master links are a different color. Okay, so you can see them pretty well. Alright, which is pretty nice because you can definitely actually replace them. There we go, almost focused. So that's that. You can replace them without a problem. There we go. Anyways, so how we do this is very simple. I don't have a special tool, I just have this wrench. Okay, I take my wrench. Alright, I put the cloth on it. Okay, so I don't really screw up the chain. Even though this is a used chain, we still don't want to scratch the chain too much. And we want more grip, so we have a cloth. And then, because this isn't a real camera, I won't be able to hold this for you. But what we do is we pinch the chain like that. Okay, and we have to make sure that this part of the link goes that way. And we don't want to resist on this side of the link. And it's the opposite for the other side. Okay, so on this side, this part goes this way. And on this side, this part goes this way. So we're doing this when we pinch it. And so when we pinch it, we'll pinch it just like this. Okay, and we'll pinch that way. So once it's been pinched, it comes right off. Okay, it should be relatively easy with a wrench to pinch it. After it comes off, okay, start with the rear derailleur and we guide it through this way. Okay. Alright, so eventually it falls off the front, and I do this with two hands, so we'll pause it a bit. So I took it off. Make sure that you take off the master link pieces, okay, so that you can use them. Usually master links alone cost like $5 or $6, so we want to be able to use that later. And so I'm going to put a SRAM 8-speed back on here. It's a Shimano drivetrain, but we're going to put a SRAM chain on there because it works just fine. I could have cleaned up, make sure this is an opportune time to clean the sprockets on the bike and the sprockets on the derailleur and everything. So you would want to clean everything, make sure everything's nice and clean and prepped up so that you can continue stuff. You also want to make sure that particularly the cog that it was on gets cleaned. Okay, and the chain ring it was on gets cleaned. Okay, before you put on the new chain and make the new chain all dirty. Alright. Doesn't make sense to make the new chain all dirty. It's also an opportune time to replace your cassette. So we're gonna do that too real quick. Okay? So when we replace our little cassette here, first step of course is to remove the skewer. And a lot of cool lock ring tools, they have a little skewer guide to help go into the skewer so that it lines up perfectly with these lock ring. Now, again, we want to try to make sure everything's relatively clean first, and it is it's imperative that when we put the new cassette on that there's no dust or grime inside of it, otherwise it will slightly move around and the dust or the grime will really wreak havoc over time. So we make sure that everything's spick and span first before we replace it, because it's also gross to have a cassette. I'm changing mine for the purposes of gear ratio, so I'm going to use this in the future. So I want to store it how it's going to be spick and span. I want to actually do a really thorough job cleaning it.